You seem to be really, really kind of centered around something other than comedy. Is it curiosity? Is it?
Not even generally. My father was killed by a drunk driver when I was 11 years old. Luckily, he was the only one killed, but he died in my mother's lap. My other two brothers were thrown around the car. A lot of kids were hurt. He wasn't. And then I'm walking down to my house, knowing something terrible had happened, even though I didn't do it. I'm praying, weeping. I said, I will eat vegetables, whatever it is, a kid. Just make whatever is going on. This is terrible. I will, do my homework or what. I was walking down, and none of that happened. I get to the house. There's police, and my uncle was there. He said, "Man up. Your mom needs you right now. So no crying, none of that."
How old are you at this point?
11. And I walked there, and the whole time I'm going, literally as a boy for your dad, he was a great dad. Love of my life. I said, this doesn't make any sense. I don't like this. And everybody's answer was, he's in a better place. My first reaction was, then why are we in this shithole? Why are we just start there? And it never got answered. Why is this? What's this? And then that never stopped. The pain of it never stopped. The discomfort of it, I took for many years. I didn't care. That whole process started me on asking questions, generally getting no answers. That said, shop teachers always had an answer.
Right.
Put your hands down. Stop asking. Figure it out. That's all you can do. And I used to love that about shop teachers. I used to love that. It's that's great. All right. So just put this, it's worthless. Engaging.
Well, it's worthless without this, and this is really worthless without that.
Yes.
What are you, 71?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're 11 and your dad dies in your mom's lap, and you come face to face with the uncertainty of the universe. And then
the meanness of it.
The arbitrary
meanness,
capriciousness of it.
Because it says and that literally the emanation is saying you don't understand.
You don't understand anything.
You don't understand. You will understand pain, but you're going to need. I think it's like I love knife sharpening. I just love it. I've always been fascinated by knives, and I've gone to 3 different companies. I went to a butcher. They're a fishery, and they were slicing up fish. I hate fishing, but I love. They were slicing up. I go, but to cut through fish skin and the fish so it goes like butter. I go, where are you getting these knives? And said,
Stop. Why do you have to interrupt your story to tell me you hate fish?
Well, I'm not a fisherman. I don't. The whole thing. I'm not. I eat them. I like them in a kind of. I used to sell Orvis rods at this outdoor shop. I learned how to fly fish. You'd have to demonstrate. Yeah. And so I knew how to do it. I knew how to shoot guns and binoculars and all that, but I don't like this. However, the knife sharpening, in order to sharpen a knife, you have to hurt the knife.
Yeah.
And if you keep it honed, you can extend it without, if you will, causing pain. But once the knife gets dull, honing a knife, the first thing is it's a rough stone, and it takes off a little bit of microscopically, if I got it right, the good blades just bend microscopically, and you want to bring it back up. If it bends too far, you have to get a new edge, and that's life. In a sense, is honing. There's going to be some pain, and eventually you will cut through this thing.
You'll appreciate this. A couple months ago, a guy sat right there named Josh Smith. Josh runs the Montana Knife Company. I don't know of a better bladesmith in the country right now. He's incredible, a true artist. Everything we've been talking about, this guy personifies. His knives aren't cheap, and he started offering a lifetime guarantee on his knives, and he offered to sharpen the knife for his customers for the lifetime of the knife, or his lifetime. And I'm like, that just seems like an awful lot of maintenance after the sale.
But no one does it.
And he says, no one does it. And here's the thing, man. No one does it right.
Right.
And I didn't think to ask him about it in the conversation. I wish I would have. because part of me feels like if we have the facility and the wherewithal to buy a knife, but we don't have the capacity to care for it properly, maybe we shouldn't own it. But this guy's in the knife selling business. So it's like, well, no, that's not really going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sharpen it for you. And then that makes me think about all the other ways, well-intended makers of things, right? We can't really trust the consumer to fix that blender because you're just too freaking stupid. You don't have the patience or the intellectual curiosity or bandwidth. So we're just going to make it out of one piece of extruded plastic. And it works until somebody like you comes along who's like, no, that actually offends me because you're still clinging to the uncertain universe where you get to put your hands on a thing and make it better. And that's the war we're in right now. Those are the two different types of people walking around. They want their knives sharpened for them, or they want to do it themselves.
Well, I just read this. If you were to go back in time, could you help them at all? And that is nothing. If I went back 100 years, I would say, we have these things, they're phones. We have a machine, no, that's a freaking blender. And so there's really nothing I could help them. And in reverse, if you got someone from way back, 200 years ago, the only thing they'd recognize here is a fruit market and a cobbler. And there aren't any cobblers left. I cannot find, other than rare here in Los Angeles, someone that will fix a shoe. Because everybody wears tennis shoes now. Mm-hmm. And I have some leather shoes. And I had a brand of Sidewalk. It's a group, they hand make shoes in Sherman Oaks. And you can't, even in Mexico, I have home in Mexico, and I think they look at it and they go, we can't fix this. You just buy another one. I said, I'm now stubborn about that. I don't want to buy another one. What would it take to fix this? What would it take to fix, boy, the blender started me on my washer dryer. I said, but the washer dryer is a motor. We used to do this as kids. They used to leave them on the sidewalk. And a buddy of mine, Mick Hersley, he'd go, there's only one, the armature, it's got two, the early ones were just, it electric motor and it does a tumbler, but it's like two ball bearings that go. Yeah. And then it starts wobbling, and then it starts making that noise. As you pull that out, put a bearing in, put it back in, there's not much to go wrong with the washer. Yeah. So we had one in our house, and it was doing that. The guy said, yeah, it's going to go. I said, you know what? This isn't that old. You're in the warranty? And I didn't know that I was, so I said I wasn't. He goes, yeah, it's just cheaper to replace it. Cheaper to replace it. King, king, king. This is all metal. The drum is metal. This is metal. What are we replacing? And it's that digital dashboard. Yeah. And I said, so we took it apart, went to the shop, and it's circuit board. And it used to be the circuit boards were all on the back were little welds, not welds, but solders. Yeah. You solder two things together. Now that's all internalized. They don't let you repair it, because generally what's wrong with that wash machine is that circuit board, one of those solders broke and it's dead, or it won't dry, or it won't do the cycle. And so this whole thing is useless. All the work, all the people that made it is worthless because of a little solder joint, and you don't want to fix it. And he goes, it's just cheaper, sir. We'll just get you another one. And then I came up with, I found I do have the warranty. And he goes, yeah, I'll fix it then. Because if you at that point made Lowe's or whoever did it, if they have to replace it, they will fix that circuit board. But I don't even know if they make the circuit boards replaceable anymore. I don't think the company that makes them, I don't think they.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with my metaphor, man. We all want a knife and we don't know how to sharpen them.
If you like what you heard,
and even if you don't,
won't you please,
pretty please, subscribe. Well, I hate to beg and I hate to plead, but please, pretty freaking please, subscribe.